Okay, class, let's take a look. So we keep on with our Abhidhamma Sangaha. So basically, let's take a look. From the condensed, we notice that, okay, there will be some we notice from introduction to chapter 1, 2, 3 until to chapter 9. But we are still in the introduction. So let's take a look. This is the introduction. We are in this area. We stop here before the fourfold ultimate reality. Yes, Sally, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, correct. So before we talk about the fourfold reality, basically in the previous lesson, we start with the verse. Okay, let's see. The verse mentioned that having respectfully salute the fully enlightened one, the peerless one, along with the sublime teaching and the noble order. I will speak the manual of Abhidhamma, a compendium of the things contained in the Abhidhamma. So that is the introduction for the words of praise. So we already defined now let's continue. I will speak the manual of Abhidhamma. But before that, we mentioned that and the noble order, meaning to say that here, once we talk about the having respectfully served, meaning to say that we are using respectful mind to do this type of a good karma. And then secondly, we talk about the fully enlightened one, meaning to say who is the Shakyamuni, who fully understood the ultimate nature for both particular and universal characteristic. The sublime teaching means the pariyati, patipati, and pativeda, study, practice, and realization. And the noble order, meaning to say the Sangha community, including the sage, the noble, and also a mandate, the conventional Sangha also. Now we go to I will speak the manual of Abhidhamma. Okay, yes, Mr. Leong, can you please read the passage and including the fourfold ultimate reality guide?
C4, can you ask somebody else because my eyesight today is very bad, very poor.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sally, yes. Can you please read the passage, Sally?
I will speak the manual of Abhidhamma. The title of the work, Abhidhamma-Sangaha, literally means a compendium of things contained in the Abhidhamma. That is, in the Buddha's special or distinguished Abhi teaching Dhamma handed down in the Abhidhamma Pitaka. The author's statement will state, reminds us that our text is meant to be recited and learned by heart, so that it will always be available to us as an instrument for analyzing reality. The fourfold ultimate reality. Tata vi Abhidhamma Mata.
English.
English. Okay. The things contained in the Abhidhamma spoken of therein are altogether fourfold from the standpoint of ultimate reality: consciousness, mental factors, matter, and nibbana. Guide from the standpoint of ultimate reality. According to the Abhidhamma's philosophy, there are two kinds of reality: the conventional and the ultimate. Conventional realities are the reference of ordinary conceptual thought and conventional modes of expression. They include such entities as living beings, persons, men, women, animals, and the apparent stable, persisting objects that constitute our unanalyzed picture of the world. The Abhidhamma philosophy maintains that these notions do not possess ultimate validity, for the objects which they signify do not exist in their own right as irreducible realities. Their mode of being is conceptual and not actual. They are products of mental construction, not realities existing by reason of their own nature. Ultimate realities, in contrast, are things that exist by reason of their own intrinsic nature. These are the dhammas, the final irreducible components of existence, the ultimate entities which result from the correctly performed analysis of experience. Such existence admit of no further reduction, but are themselves the final terms of analysis, the true constituents of the complex manifold experience. Hence, the word paramita is applied to them, which is derived from the parama, ultimate, highest, final, and atta, reality, thing.
Yeah, please continue. Yes, the ultimate reality. Yes.
The ultimate realities are characterized not only from the ontological angle as the ultimate existence, but also from the epistemological angle as the ultimate objects of right knowledge. As one extracts all from sesame seed, one can extract the ultimate realities from the conventional realities. For example, being and man and woman are concepts suggesting that things they signify possess irreducible ultimate unity. However, when we wisely investigate these things with the analytical tools of abhidhamma, we find that they do not possess the ultimacy implied by the concepts, but only a conventional reality as the assemblage of impermanent factors of mental and physical processes. Thus, by examining the conventional realities with wisdom, we eventually arrive at the objective actualities that lie behind our conceptual constructs. It is these objects, actualities, the dharmas, which maintain their intrinsic natures independently of the mind's constructive functions that form the ultimate reality of abhidhamma.
Okay, Sally, are you sure you pronounce this irreducible or irreducible?
Yeah.
Take a look to the screen, Sally. Take a look to the screen. Irreducible or irreducible?
Irreducible.
Irreducible is correct. Okay, yes.
Sorry. Although ultimate
Hey,
reality.
enough already. Because we start to digest 3 paragraphs.
Hey, last one only what?
Never mind. We stop here. Okay.
Okay. Can People slightly bigger can
Okay, finish. Okay, class, basically, let's take a look. Yeah, I would like to show you the sesame. So this is the sesame. Basically, in order to get the sesame oil, we will try to use some, I think maybe we'll try to oppress it, then we will get the sesame oil. Let's take a look how to process for sesame oil. You see. Okay, let's see this is modern way Maybe I prefer show you the Chinese way maybe I would like a Chinese traditional way I see. This is a more traditional way to get the sesame oil. So basically, they will just put all the sesame and just use some, use some external force to make the oil come out lah. Okay, why do we mention this? Actually, this is an analogy, Basically, the sesame as what we call conventional truth, and the ultimate truth is the sesame oil. Meaning to say that in order to know the ultimate truth, it's not necessary to go elsewhere to find the ultimate truth. You can just get the ultimate truth from the conventional truth. So we go back to the question, what is the conventional truth and ultimate truth? Basically, we are living in the conventional truth. I see Mr. Leong. So the name of Mr. Leong is a conventional truth. Okay. Well, I try to analyze Mr. Leong. So Mr. Leong will see. Actually, Mr. Leong is composed by the skin. Okay, the flesh. Okay, the blood and the blood vessel, and also with a variety of the interior organ. Okay, so meaning to say that if I try to analyze Mr. Leong, actually once I try to analyze everything from Mr. Leong, there's no more Mr. Leong anymore. Okay, what we can see is just different part of the body. Okay, and even though the different part of the body, for example, the liver, the lung, okay, and also the stomach. If you try to analyze again further, one is go to the atom and molecule state. Meaning, I think you also cannot see the difference between the stomach. If they are everything in the atom or molecule form, then there's no difference. You don't see any stomach, liver, lung anymore. See or not? So we need to say that the whole world, especially this body, is formed from the conventional truth, and there will be different layer of the conventional truth. The first beginning layer is the name. So you're Mr. Leong, here's a Sally, this is a Popo, meaning to say that everybody we won't confuse because we have a different name. That still is the conventional truth. We use conventional truth as a guide for us to know the world. See or not? It seems important. But now, what Abhidhamma, he wouldn't use the conventional truth in the Abhidhamma. Basically, we use the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth meaning to say that he will try to analyze our physical body and also the nama to the finest particle, to the irreducible part. One is once the physical body and also the our Dharma have been analyzed to the irreducible part, so that will be the ultimate truth. So throughout the whole Abhidhamma subject, we will just only discuss the ultimate truth, and we won't discuss any conventional truth, like in Nikaya. So basically, if let's say in Nikaya, you will hear that, oh, one day Shakyamuni walked through the river, and then Shakyamuni saw a beggar. Here, all is a conventional truth. In Abhidhamma, you don't see any beggar, you don't see any Shakyamuni, you don't see any river, because everything has been analyzed to the irreducible form. So we will know it through we call it as ultimate truth. So no need to worry, coming we will analyze our mind to 89 types of the consciousness. In the mental factor, we analyze to 52, all right? And the rupa, the material, we analyze to 18, you see? So meaning to say that, then we will study one by one. Why? Because for the ultimate truth, they all have their intrinsic nature, so we won't confuse. For example, okay, now it's the Chinese New Year, see or not? Maybe once during the visiting, you see a lot of tipis, right? Chinese New Year, a variety of the tipis, a wide variety of tipis, and you start to have greedy, and then you hear, I must try all different type of the bits, and then when you move to another house, yeah, I want to try all also, you see or not? So we need to say that if you try to analyze the single thought, we notice that there's a greedy meaning to say that you are craving, you want to occupy something. All right, and then the same, so during the Chinese New Year, maybe you get the ang pao, so ang pao you see, oh, the amount is very small. Then you go to the second house, oh, the amount is even smaller, you start to feel angry, right? So angry meaning to say that if you try to analyze, angry meaning to say that you're dissatisfied with the present situation, so you won't confuse one. The greedy and the anger, you won't confuse, because both are the intrinsic nature is different, and both are ultimate truth. So these are ultimate truth. Even though you don't have a jhana, but you can know it's a different. Whether you're greedy, whether you're angry, you know very well. See, so we're going to study in detail in the future chapter. Okay. So this is the what the paragraph mentioned here. So let us go through the terminology. Okay, number one is see here. Okay. So here I will speak the manual Abhidhamma. Here we mention it will learn by heart, not just for reciting only. But basically we know this. No matter Mahayana Theravada, reciting sutra is very common. Because sutra is the Buddha word. Through reciting the holy word, we feel good, and it is a good karma. But everybody recite without really study, that is, I mean, the reason is because all the Dharma words they got the meaning behind. So that's why we have a class study here. Next, we go to the fourfold ultimate reality, fourfold, you see? So they got the four. So this is the consciousness number one, mental factor number two, matter number three, and the Nibbana. We will study one by one. So the name here come already, you see? Conventional truth and the ultimate truth. A more technical terminology, what we call as a conventional is an ordinary conceptual thought. We use the word panyati, then a conventional mode of expression. So meaning to say that once we try to express, I say, oh, there's an old man there. It's an expression, right? So that is a conventional truth. Okay, so that is the meaning. Then next you see, he said this is a conceptual, it's not the actual. That's true. We are living in a conceptual world. How do we know that? Especially you can feel most of us have been tortured by the concept. How? For example, during Chinese New Year, the air ticket can go to be very expensive, right? Maybe from East Malaysia to West Malaysia, for example, it go to $800. All right. If you try to compare, maybe before MCO, you can get the ticket with $200. You will notice that, oh, you overspend, you're wasting the money, and then you feel bad, disappointed. Wow, already spent another extra, $600 for a ticket. But anyway, if you recall, if you experience that, before Asia era, maybe the ticket at least 1,000 plus something. Then if you compare that at that time to now, $600, $800, then you notice that, oh, anyway, it's still cheaper. So actually, it depends on you, how you want to compare. I remember once I came back from the trip from Singapore. I noticed everything in Malaysia is very cheap, Yeah, I feel cheap, Actually, the cheap actually is the feeling, It's not real. I noticed that we always play by the concept. I remember 12 years ago, once I reached KL, usually $50 is enough for a whole tray, maybe 1 to 2 weeks veggie, right? Or $50 is enough for 12 years ago. But now, at least $100, even though I'm alone, you see, okay? But I remember once I got back from Singapore, in Singapore, everything have to times by 3. You go to visit maybe the aquarium, then maybe already you have to spend let's say 30 Singapore dollar, so $90 already, So $90 you eat nothing, you just spend 1 hour to watch the fish only, you see. Of course, it's very exciting, Yeah, it's very exciting, And then we all feel dirty. Let's say I get a cup of drink. In the place there, you can't get you can find the cheap one, even though just a tip pizza. Yeah, at least have to cost everybody 30 Singapore dollar, So meaning to say, about everyone have to spend. No. Just a tip piece only. Already you have to spend around 30 Singapore dollar. So $100 just for a tip piece only. You see, So once I come back there, come back Singapore, I buy a veggie. $100. I feel very cheap because I watched the fish already. $100 already. Then just the tip piece only. A few people already $100. So I noticed that, not expensive. You see or not? Meaning to say, I still use the same money from the pocket, but just the feeling cheat me, I cheat by the feeling. So it made me feel that actually, traveling is good. So we got some Dharma friend, they travel Antarctica. But before they reach Antarctica, they stop in Argentina. Argentina inflation rate is about 100%. Just the rich people can buy an Avogadro, So he said, we are so lucky in Malaysia. Argentina is so poverty until you can just see a beautiful lady only. Argentina usually Miss World context, usually they will win one because they had been colonized by the Italian before. So the mixture of the blood make them look beautiful, even the men very handsome. But you can't get a cheap thing. All is expensive. You can only see is the beautiful man and woman only. The rest, all is expensive. Inflation, see. So meaning to say that this one, we notice that even though it's a conventional truth, but we always play by it. We always play by it. So I noticed that's a good experience, So sometimes we have to travel to some expensive country, then you come back, everything turn cheap, but the pocket money is the same only, right? Same, just the feeling only, wow, so cheap, it's a feeling only. Okay, so we call it as a conventional truth. But anyway, the feeling of cheap, I noticed that, life is good, I feel good. That feeling is the ultimate truth. You get it or not? Or you feel expensive, cheap, that is the conventional. That is not the real thing. But that one always plays us around. Okay, so that is the meaning we call it. So sometimes, how do we know the conventional truth? Through the comparison. Always, conventional always come from comparison. So you say, so Singapore is cheaper or Malaysia is cheaper. It depends on where do you compare, if you compare Singapore, if you compare with the Singapore, Malaysia is maybe purchasing power is very weak, okay, but if you compare with Argentina, maybe Malaysian dollar, purchasing power is strong. So actually, strong with rich, beauty, ugly, there's all conventional. It's no definite. It's all come from comparison. It depends on what do you want to compare. So sometimes we invite people go to hike a mountain. The people will say, how high is the mountain? So we say, sometimes we will say that, okay, it depends on you. If you feel it is high, it is high. It is not high, it's not high. But sometimes also, if you want a good answer, you will say, it depends on where you want to compare. If the mountain compared with the Gunung Kinabalu is very low, it's not very high. But if you compare with Erti, maybe it's very high already. So you have to tell people there must be a benchmark to express the conventional truth. If you don't express, if you don't define, the people will define by themselves. Am I right? If you don't tell the definition, the people will define by themselves. So everybody have their own definition. For the rich, poor, ugly, beautiful, everybody have their own way. And this is come from our background. So actually, conventional truth, I noticed that the psychology, they really study very deep in it. And this is where the communication problem come from. I think Hui Bing also know it very well. Mass communication will know very well the conventional truth. I think you, what I could example you know already. But here Buddhism we also study. I think in chapter number 8, the final part, we have a special part to study all the concepts. In Buddhism, 7 abhidhamma, we got 1 abhidhamma specific in Panyati. These are our conventional truth because we always play over by it. Yeah, Mr. Leong, you raised hand, please. Question?
Sifu, as regarding this by comparison, are we actually using the term of dualism?
Dualism. Okay. You bring in the dualism. I have to search the dictionary first. The dualism. Maybe.
Like for example, good and bad.
Yeah. But in the simple way, if a dualism you define is simple, yes, it's a dualism. So meaning to say the dualism is not the ultimate truth, it's a conventional truth only. Okay? Enough? No need to go through dictionary some more. No need lah. No need lah. Okay. Hey, when we talk this, the class will be more interesting. Abhidhamma is very dry. So we bring up all these things. Or you want to share something also, never mind. Okay, so class, let's continue. So we say ultimate truth exists by reason of their own intrinsic nature. See, not intrinsic nature, as I mentioned, the greedy, you want to occupy something. The angry mean you want to opposing something. That is their intrinsic nature. So you won't confuse one. Then some more, let's take a look. And it's an irreducible component of existence. Yeah, we try to analyze. So meaning to say that analysis is the tool we are going to use in Abhidhamma. But basically, okay, let's say you feel very angry. For example, okay, Hui Ping, okay, you feel angry. Maybe somebody owe you money. He doesn't pay you back. Okay, so okay, you feel very angry. So Hui Ping, can you on the mic? So I will ask okay, Hui Ping, you think you're angry with the guy, right? Okay, are you yourself angry? May I know who are you? You think? Who are you actually?
Who am I when I am angry, you mean?
Yes. So who is angry actually? You said I am angry, so who is I actually?
What sort of a question?
Yeah, okay. Can you find out where is Hui Ping for me? When you say you are angry, okay, is the hair is Hui Ping? No, right?
Well, I think I got what you are trying to say. Well, Hui Ping is a combination of all organs that this is the body. And
it's a combination.
Hui Ping is just a label to this body.
Yes, okay. So you see, Hui Ping, you try. Next time once you're angry, you ask, who is angry? Then you notice that actually no such thing. All is a combination. Or when you analyze it, and you're angry with somebody, right? Who is the somebody? If you try to analyze, you don't see a concrete one. See or not? So meaning to say that we are always staying in the conceptual world, and we always and in our brain, according to our brain, all is true one. This is a real thing. So then we're angry, right? If he is not real, how can we angry?
So in a way that we are being influenced by the feelings of being angry, and then we thought that it is us being a person is angry.
Maybe we say that we are cheated by all the conceptual. We thought I is real and the guy is a real. Then you will have an angry. But if you notice that actually I doesn't exist, nowhere, you don't know where to get the I and also the guy, so not necessarily the angry one.
So does it mean that when I'm not real and he is not real, and what is the anger for?
Yes, you can say so, but of course, we use it just to curb the emotion, the negative one. You can't say, since I doesn't exist, so I just sit wait the money drop from the sky, no need to work. No, cannot. That is not right. We just use this just to conquer our defilement only. Get it? So don't misuse it. This is how the Tibetan Buddhism use the Madhyamaka theory to conquer the defilement. This is how the Tibetan Buddhism they use these skills. I think it's quite good. So next time once you feel angry, you try to think about that. Who am I? You try to analyze, and then all defilement will gone. But sometimes it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it will not work if you use too many times. Because your brain have been used to it already or no. Once the thing new, you thought that miracle, but later on you get used to it already. Okay, Mr. Lev, please, Mr. Lev.
Sifu, can we say that due to causes and conditions, our intrinsic nature becomes angry?
Of course, yes, it's okay. Yes, there must be cause and condition. Basically, the cause and condition will say that number one, you must have illusion of I first. You have the illusion, and then people cause me angry because he go against to my wish. Right? So that is the condition as you mentioned, Mr. Lev. So for those who are very good in samatha vipassana, they always stay in the ultimate truth. It's not easy for them to angry because they always notice that this is the illusion, the I is the illusion, and the counterpart is illusion. If you know it very well through vipassana, there's no place to angry. This is the difference between the sage and we. Actually, even though we haven't reached the vipassana, even though the jhana is good, you can, the suppression of the jhana can let the anger won't come out anymore. That is the jhana powerful. You feel the big I. Wow, the whole universe is you, and you are the big universe. You forgive everything easily. So that's the skills we are using here.
Thank you, Sifu.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, you see that here we say exists by reason of their own intrinsic nature. Then we come here. As one extract oil from the sesame seed. So that's the example. So next time, if you want to know the truth, it's not necessary to go elsewhere to look for it. No, not necessary. Everything, if you got a jhana, you analyze your whole I through the ultimate truth, to the nama and rupa. Then if you peel, you follow the skills step by step. So finally, you were able to get the nibbana, like peeling the onion. One layer by one layer. Onion and also the banana, right? The banana stem, right? You peel one layer by one layer. Finally, you will see the ultimate truth. Okay. Then let's see. Okay, you see, when we wisely investigate this thing with the analytical tool, you see, basically in Abhidhamma, we will be provide the analytical truth. Actually, that's the knowledge. That's the knowledge we're going to study. We use the word as a tool. So we find that they do not possess the ultimacy implied by the concept. Yes, you don't see any ultimacy. Just now I tried to analyze Mr. Leong. Finally, we don't see Mr. Leong actually. We don't see. Okay. But anyway, if the Along come to look for you, hey, you owe me the money. You don't say, oh, Mr. Leong doesn't exist, so we don't owe you any money. You can't say that. Okay, sometime the people play, they go to thief the thing, so they got caught in the court. So the judge said, are you stealing people thing? They say, No, what? I don't still people think what? So yesterday already passed away already. Now I'm different with the yesterday. So how can you see I still people think? So basically, some people will misuse this type of concept. Actually, we don't do that lah. Basically, okay. If let's say you are the judge, and the thief are claim in this way, you say, how can you say I thief? That is a yesterday I. Now it's a today I. Yes, yesterday I and now I is a different I. How can you say I thief? How are you going to answer that? Popo, how are you going to answer that?
There's no difference. It's still the same you that is exists yesterday and today.
But there's a yesterday and today is a different day already.
But the act is done. The act is done by, the person. Isn't
Act done by the person. It's already gone already. Yesterday gone by the wind. You see, the people can claim in this way, right? No? So how are you going to argue? Yes, Sally, can you help how to argue? By using cheesecake.
You're still the same person.
There's still, yeah, but okay, you always insist that it's the same person. We argue that, I mean, the thief will argue that, no, it's a different one. There's a yesterday I. Yesterday I is different with today I. Anisha tuka anatta. You see, they can use the Dharma to argue them for themselves, see, not? Okay, usually we answer in this way. Actually, yes, yesterday I and today I is a little bit different. There's a different, but they have the relationship. The key point is the relationship. Because without the yesterday, where can you get present, right? Without the present, how can you get the future? So three of them are in relation. So you are still guilty. So we catch them to the jail finally. Actually, this case happened before. In ancient time. Okay, so here, as we mentioned here, yeah. Okay, so we finish here already. All together for the last paragraph. Yeah, the last paragraph here. Let's see. There we got one more here. Although ultimate reality exists. Okay, Popo, can you please finish the whole thing? Although and finish the all together fourfold, please.
Although ultimate realities exist as the concrete essences of essence of things, they are so subtle and profound that an ordinary person who lacks training cannot perceive them. Such a person cannot see the ultimate realities because his mind is obscured by concepts which shape reality into conventionally defined appearances. Only by means of wise or thorough attention to things can one yoniso manasikara, can one see beyond the concepts and take the ultimate realities as one's object of knowledge. Thus, Paramatta is described as that which belongs to the domain of ultimate or supreme knowledge. Altogether fourfold. In the suttas, the Buddha usually analyzes a being or individual into 5 types of ultimate realities. The 5 aggregates, panchakanda, matter, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. In the Abhidhamma teaching, the ultimates are grouped into the 4 categories enumerated in the text. The first 3, consciousness, mental factors, and matter, comprise or condition reality. The 5 aggregates of the Suttanta teaching fit within these 3 categories. The aggregate of consciousness, Vijnanakanda, is here comprised by consciousness citta. The word citta generally been employed to refer to different classes of consciousness distinguished by their concomitants. The middle 3 aggregates are in the Abhidhamma or included within the category of mental factors, cetasikas, the mental states that arise along with consciousness performing diverse functions. The Abhidhamma philosophy enumerates 52 mental factors. The aggregates of feeling and perception are each counted as 1 factor. The aggregate of mental formation, Sankara Kanda, of the suttas is finally subdivided into 50 mental factors. The aggregate of matter is, of course, identical with the abhidhamma category of matter, which will later be divided into 28 types of material phenomena. To these three types of reality which are conditioned is added a fourth reality which is unconditioned. That reality which is not included in the five aggregates is nibbana, the state of final deliverance from the suffering inherent in conditioned existence. Thus, in the Abhidhamma philosophy, they are all together these four ultimate realities: consciousness, mental factors, matter, and nibbana.
Okay, thank you so much. Paramata Chinese 究竟地终结究竟地听到吗？终结，哎，怎么看到你手指罢了的？再靠近 camera 过头来。Class, remember we always criticize the Bhikkhu body English in Abhidhamma, right? But here I noticed this type of English is very good to express this type of stuff. Let's take a look. You see, I think this is the best language to describe this. You see, the mind obscured by the concept, which shape reality into conventionally defined appearance. Sounds good, right? Because very simple English can explain the whole thing, you see. Just now, I used 15 minutes to explain, but the one sentence is really good enough for the whole thing. Right now, and then you see here, now, only the wise people have a thorough attention, can see beyond the concept. And what the paramata is what? It belongs to the domain or ultimate of a supreme knowledge. Very nice, I like it very much now, the English, because it's very simple words. You talk about the whole thing already. Okay, but of course, if you haven't gone through Abhidhamma, for you it's still nothing, because you don't know what the language behind. You see, here one thing is about the Yoniso Manaskara. Okay, class, basically, you see here the keyword is the Yoniso Manaskara. See or not? You say Yoniso Manaskara can see beyond the concept. So meaning to say that Yoniso Manaskara is not the jhana only, it's the vipassana skills. Meaning to say that you can just analyze all the concept and immediately go to see the ultimate truth. And this is we call it as a supremacy of the knowledge, as we mentioned here. Okay, then let's continue. Altogether fourfold. Okay, so class, basically in Buddha, in the Dharma, we divide our aggregates to five aggregates. Number one is the matter, okay, the rupa. Second is the feeling, all right, and the third is the perception, okay, and number four is the formations. So the last is the consciousness. Basically, the physical body can analyze to this five, we can divide it to the five, to this five part. So from part by part, you analyze, go to the detail, then you notice that actually the eye will be, you can just break the eye immediately. So, but in the Dharma, how are we going to divide all this? Basically, number one, once we talk about the consciousness, here you see we have an eye conscious, ear conscious, nose conscious, tongue conscious. Am I right? So we got all the conscious. All what we feel now is all categorized under the consciousness. Secondly is regards to feeling. Okay, once we talk about the feeling, I feel good, I feel bad. The feeling is considered one aggregate. It's under the feeling congregate. Basically, we call it as every consciousness, they will have some concomitant. Concomitant meaning to say is the mental factor. There's a group of the mental factor follow the mental, and the mental factor, they will perform diverse of the different of the functions in order to make the chitta itself can 100% perform its roles. See, so we go to analyze one by one. And we notice that there are totally 52 of the mental factor. So once we minus the feeling, we minus one more is a perception, then the rest of the 50, they are under category of aggregate of formation. So that's how we can get 52 here. Sounds boring, right? I think you don't know what I'm talking about. Sounds boring. Never mind, you just know it because I think CJ can know it very well. Once he studied the whole book and come back, he will appreciate. Am I right? Zhongjie, you know already, 52, it come in this way. But you can only appreciate when you study the whole thing and you come back here. Okay, so that's how we get the number of the 52 here. Okay, let's see. Never mind, later on, it is good, possibly have 15 minutes of recapitulation, so you can help to each other. help to each other. So CJ, you can bring your kids here, so you hug your kids and recap with them, something like that. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look here. This is the meaning here, it's the some calculation only. So the last one will be the Nibbana. Okay, now we come to this 4 classes of the consciousness. Okay, so before we go to the detail, it is good for us to analyze the diagram. Let's take a look to this diagram, table 1.1. Class, I wish you to analyze the table in the first place. What should you analyze? Number 1, take a look to the main title first. Then second, go take a look to the subtitle. And then take a look to the name and the number. If you see any rules and regulation behind, there will be some observation. There should got some rules and regulation behind one. So you can analyze now. Okay. If you finish, you satisfy your analysis, please raise your hand. Even though your brain blank, end up as a blank, it is also your outcome. So you just raise your hand. Even though you feel blank in your brain, never mind. Okay, this is the first diagram. Maybe I try to guide you all first. Okay, all right, Hui Ping.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, number 1, let's take a look. Okay, we're trying to guide you. We'll see 2 groups of the Chitta. What are the 2 groups?
mundane and supramundane.
Yes, mundane and supramundane. Okay. So in mundane, we see other group. What is the name we see it?
Mundane, under mundane, there are these sense sphere chittas, fine material sphere chittas, and immaterial sphere chittas.
Okay, so Hui Ping, for you, immaterial sphere and the fine material sphere, what's the difference?
Immaterial and fine material.
What does it mean, immaterial?
Immaterial, not objective. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, you see, immaterial is a negative, meaning to say that no material.
No material. Yeah.
Meaning to say that the living being at that sphere, you don't see any physical body one.
Yeah.
So that is the meaning of how we can catch from here lah. Okay, all right. Then you see, just now you mentioned mundane and supramundane. So for you, what's the difference between the mundane and supramundane? Never mind, don't see the diagram. You don't get the answer one. I just try to guide you and make you feel interesting on it. So for you, what is the difference between mundane and supramundane?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay, but you know mundane meaning is the people we are living here.
Yeah.
Supramundane meaning to say they are the sage. The sage. So in a simple way that the supramundane supposed to be our target. So the people living in the mundane they cultivate. Finally, they hopefully one day they end up become a supramundane. Okay, so here we can see the difference here. Okay, then Mr. Leong, can you can you look for me? So you think this we see three group here. Which group you feel most stranger for you? The name, which one you feel most stranger for you, Mr. Leong? On the mic, please.
Not sure.
Not sure. Oh, okay, never mind. All right. You see, let's take a look. Basically, you see here the most the name you feel familiar most. It should be the greed, hatred, and delusion. Am I right? So this is the three words we feel mostly familiar, right? Okay, then next, let's take a look. If you go to the rootless, I think you feel quite stranger to the rootless. So basically, once you start to learn the Buddhism, I think the first day you go to the Buddhist association, you know the greedy, anger, stupidity, right? Then we talk about the hell, hungry ghosts. This is the things we first learn. One first day you become Buddhist, right? But once we talk about the rootless, or that one you can only study until to this abhidhamma level. Then you start to learn this only. So you know that some for you is quite strange. I mean, it's quite strange. It's quite, how to say, you feel unfamiliar with that, some terminology. Basically, if you notice some, you feel unfamiliar, you just highlight, because later on, when you come across the word, then you will have interest to know further regards this. You see, then how about this? You see, we see the words resultant, functional, and the wholesome, unwholesome. Yes, Sally, it is a familiar word to you. Wholesome, unwholesome. Familiar?
Yeah, familiar.
Yeah, familiar. How about the resultant, functional? You feel familiar? Familiar, right? Okay. How about the rootless, functional? Not familiar, right?
No.
Yes. Okay, the rootless. This one, how to say, rootless, functional rootless. They will include one type of a very specific karma, which will be applied only to Arahant. Why? Because you see, you and I will create the karma, and the accumulation of the karma will determine our past life. Am I right? Okay, but how about the Arahant? Arahant, they don't have any future life. But Arahant, if we stay with Arahant, Arahant also have to go to peace, have to eat. Arahant also have to smile, right? So all these how are we going to put it? So this one, the rootless functional, is somewhere we use for the Arahant. Actually, it's for the smiling only. But remember, once meaning to say that here, if we go to the wholesome, the beautiful sphere here, especially the functional, this is a very special for the Arahant. When you see the words functional, okay, so it's something for you. Then here you see, take a look. Here we come into the 5 material sphere chitta and immaterial sphere chitta. Okay, CJ, can you see what is the rule and regulation between these two groups? What is the similarity between these two groups? 5 material and immaterial sense sphere chitta. On the mic.
Both of them have the this wholesome resultant and functional type of.
Yes. Okay. So class, you should be able to observe. It seems both possess wholesome resultant functional. How about the sense sphere chitta? Do they got wholesome resultant functional? Got or not? CJ?
Only the sense sphere chittas have.
We can see the wholesome also again, resultant again, functional again. So meaning to say that these 3 group of the chitta, they will keep on appearing in this 3 group of the chitta. For example, in sense sphere, 5 material sphere and immaterial sphere. How about the supramandate? Do you see any wholesome resultant functional? CJ? You don't see, right? Yes. Okay, class, do you know what I mean observation? Because later on, we got so many this type of diagram. The purpose we do this is to trigger your interest. Remember, if you study Abhidhamma, you have to always ask yourself the question. But basically, they will answer. You get an answer within the text. You have to begin with the question first. If you don't do it this way, you feel very tedious and boring. Then once you get the familiarity already, you go back to the text, all will be well defined. Then that is this is how you learn if you go to study by yourself. Yeah, Mr. Liu, you raise your hand, please.
Sifu, regarding this supramundane chittas, how come they don't have this functional matter?
Oh yeah, the reason is for them it's not necessary already. Supramundane itself, basically it's already enough. I mean, for the sage already. Because it is really supramundane. The value of the supramundane meaning to say that they won't remain any karma after the action. But once the Arahant, they are in the mandate world, they got the action. But the action itself, in order to make us difference between our mandate and our normal people and the sage, we have to use the function. But once you are the supramundate chitta itself already good enough and remain no karma already. So that's why no need the function. Okay, so good question. Then Popo, can you see in supramundate we can see 2 group of the chitta? What are the 2 group? Yeah, clay. We can see 2 group. What is the 2 group? You see? This is what?
The puff and the fruits.
Yes, the puff and the fruit. So we can see 2 groups. One is the puff, one is the fruit. Okay, so what is the difference between the puff and the fruit? Yeah, fruit is juicy, you can eat. Puff is for you to walk. No, it's a joking. Okay, class, basically, once we talk about the puff is very functional. It can eradicate the defilement permanently. So usually we experience the puff, one single thought that will be good enough to permanently remove and eradicate the defilement. And the fruit, we call it fruit, meaning to say you experience the karma from the previous action. I mean from the previous good karma. So this one, the path actually is a good karma. So once you experience the first fruit, the first path, we call it as a sotapan. Basically, your wrong view of the cell will be totally eradicated. And what will you experience is you will never reborn to the 3 woeful state. That is the wonderful. Okay, but anyway, immediately after the path for sotapan, you will experience the fruit of sotapan. Actually, the fruit itself is the samapatti. So the longer the fruit of the longer you can from 2 moment to 2 hour. If your fruit, I mean, if your fruit of the Sotapanna continuous for the 2 hour, meaning to say you are in the Samapatti of 2 hours, I will enjoy the Samadhi, and that's this type of Samadhi. They won't remain any karma effect. They won't. So this is something very wonderful. So hopefully one day we can experience all this. Okay, Claire, can you see what is the similarity between these two groups? The similarity.
I can see they have the stream entry, one's returning, non-returning, and the arahantship.
Yes. Okay. So once we talk about the non-returning, what do you understand from non-returning?
I don't understand, Sifu.
Non-returning means 爱上一个不回家的人咯。Never come back. Okay, maybe Mr. Leong you don't know, or Mrs. Leong you know, there's one song is very famous. You love somebody, never come back home. Yeah, we got one song very famous. A non-returning, some sort like that. You never come back. Actually, never come back to the mandate world. Non-returning. Once returning, you come back to the to the mandate world for once. Once returning, you see, not returning, never come back anymore. You always are in the jhana already. Then Arahant is totally never come back anymore. You don't see them anymore. No more reincarnation. Okay, so that is the meaning. Okay, I think Mrs. Leong will remember the song very well. After the class, you just remember the song. You just remember the song. The rest, you forget. Possible. Okay. Okay, so class, once we know all this, then we go back to the text. You can remember it easily. All right. Okay, CJ, can you please read the passage? 4 classes of the consciousness, and the English only. On the mic, yes.
4 class of consciousness.
Wait. I should let you go to the toilet for 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes, then come back and have a cup of drink. Then we until 4 o'clock. Yes, okay, please have a rest. I saw Mr. Leong gone already. Okay, Yes, where is CJ? He haven't come back. Why all of you all look so hardworking? Even more hardworking than study STPM. It seems like. Okay, yes, CJ, can you please continue do the reading? Please.
Okay, 4 classes of consciousness. Of them, consciousness firstly is fourfold. First, the sense sphere consciousness. Second, the fine material spheres consciousness. The third, immaterial sphere consciousness. The fourth, supramande consciousness. Consciousness, the first chapter of Abhidhamma-Sangaha, is devoted to an examination of citta, consciousness or mind, the first of the 4 ultimate realities. Consciousness is taken out for study first because of the focus of the Buddhist analysis of reality is experience, and consciousness is the principal element in experience, that which constitute the knowing and awareness of an object. The Pali word citta is derived from the verbal root citti, to recognize, to know. The commentators define citta in 3 ways: as agent, as instruments, and as activity. As the agent, the citta is which recognize an object. As the instrument, citta is that by which means of which the accompanying mental factor recognize the object. As an activity, citta is itself nothing nothing other than the process of cognizing the object. The third definition, in terms of sheer activity, is regarded as the most adequate of the three. That is, citta is fundamentally an activity or process of cognizing or knowing an object. It is not an agent or instruments possessing actual being in itself apart from the activity of cognizing. The definition in terms of agent and instruments are proposed to refute the wrong view of those who hold that a permanent self or ego is the agent and instrument of connection. The Buddhist thinkers point out by means of these definitions that it is not a self that performs the act of connection, but citta or consciousness. This citta is nothing other than the act of cognizing, and that act is necessarily impermanent, marked by rise and fall. To elucidate the nature of any ultimate reality, the Pali commentators purpose for defining device by means of which it can be delimited. These four devices are: the first is its characteristic, lakkhana, the salient quality of the phenomenons. The second, its function, rasa, its performance of the concrete task, kicha, or achievements of a goal, sampati. The third is its manifestation, pachupatana, the way it presents itself within experience. And the last one is its proximate cause, padatana, the principal condition upon which it depends. In the case of citta, its characteristic is the knowing of an object. Its function is to be a forerunner of the mental factor, in that it presides over them and is always accompanied by them. Its manifestations, the way it appears in the meditator experience, is as a continuity of process. Its approximate cause is the mind and the matter, because consciousness cannot arise alone in the complete absence of mental factors and material phenomena.
Okay, thank you so much. Hey, CJ, the longer you read, the more the more fluent is it. In the beginning, you're not used, but later on, the longer you read, the better you are. So next time we'll let you read the long passage. Good, sounds good, lah. thumb up, please, once you finish, Mr. Leong. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we go back to the definition of the citta in the very first place. Okay, so you see, Hui Ping, you hear a sound?
Yes.
Okay, okay. What do you hear actually?
A clap.
Yeah, a clap. Okay, so how do you feel with the sound?
How do I feel the sound?
Okay, who feel the sound actually? Who feel the sound?
Ears.
Okay, your ears, meaning to say you use your ears to feel the sound, or maybe you want to say, I hear the sound. Am I right?
Okay.
Very common phrase, I hear the sound. Okay. Basically, Hui Bing, can you feel that actually is your heart or your mind hear the sound?
Okay.
Will you put it in this way? Can you? Will you try to say that I use my mind to hear the sound? Will you say in this way?
Well, if scientifically, I think the signals go to the brain.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't say that your heart to feel the sound. You don't say that, right?
Yeah, probably I'll say it's the brain.
You use the brain even more accurate. Okay. Well, anyway, in Abhidhamma we mentioned that once we talk about the citta, actually citta is an activity. It's not. It is not an instrument. It is not a tools, but we use an activity. Well, this activity actually is a continuous process.
Yes.
I hoping you hear the sound. Because Abhidhamma is using a more microscopic and more scientific way to see the thing, so the world is different from what we hear now. For us, actually, the sound we hear, it is very concrete, right? The sound is very concrete. We can hear that the concrete, and we notice that I hear the sound, even I myself, the feeling is also concrete. Both are concrete. You see or not? So one, we found that I myself is concrete. From the feeling now we feel, and the sound is a concrete. But basically, Abhidhamma say actually is the citta to feel the sound, and the citta itself actually is the continuous process. And how do we know that there's a citta? Because they said the citta is actually the activity. But we usually what we feel is that this activity is an I. Same likewise, you taste certain thing, you smell certain thing, you notice that I smell a rose, we say that. But basically they say it's the citta play the roles, and the citta itself is the series of the activity. But we don't feel that. The reason is because it is too fast. The process too fast until you don't see one thing. Let's take a look to Sally. Do you see at the top of the head of Sally, you see a fan, right? Okay, you see a fan, right? Yeah. Yeah, Sally, can you see your head? They got the one fan, right? Above your head, the fan, do you see the fan? They got how many? How to say? How many knife in your fan?
3.
3. Okay, but you take a look from the screen. Do you see
You
3?
can't see.
You don't see.
You can't see.
You don't see, You see it's the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why it is whole thing? You don't see the 3?
Because it's going around so fast.
Yeah, yes, true. So same, our mind is because it rises so fast, you don't see it one by one appears. You don't see it according to Abhidhamma. The mental, the citta is come one by one. You don't see that. You just see a thing very concrete, just like a fan. Okay, that's what we feel. Yes, Mr. Leong, you raise your hand.
I think I've forgotten the question, but it's regarding this consciousness.
You forgot the question. Yes, gone by the wind. So next time you raise hand, I will talk more until you forget all the questions. I need you to remember. Yeah, I'm not obliged to answer any questions, so I will talk long until you forget everything. All right.
Yes, Sifu. The thing
yeah.
is, this what you call the activities. Can this be the activity of the consciousness?
Yes, actually, the activity itself is the consciousness. Activity itself is the consciousness. Actually, activity, the whole activity is played by a variety of consciousness. That is the real definition.
Thank you.
Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, we go back to the text. Let's take a look. Now, see, just now, what CJ read lah. He said basically chitta means what? To cognize. You see, basically this is the activity regarded as the most adequate trait. Why? Sometimes we use process of cognizing an object. This is the process. No matter we are using our eye faculty, ear faculty, or whatever faculty. But sometimes we use agent instrument because we want to refute the thought of the wrong view. Because we always think there will be wrong view. There's an eye. But if you say the process, the learning process is a tool. The learning process is something. It's the agent. Then you wouldn't think that there is somebody there. That is the purpose. Okay, then we see here, not a cell to perform the act of a cognition, but the chitta and the consciousness is our chitta to perform it. Okay, yes, chitta and conscious, I think in the modern world is supposed to be the brain, neuron, maybe the brain, the neuron of the brain in collaboration with the neuron in our retina and the nerve in the ear, all runs together. So we call it as activity of the chitta. I think it should be the closest to the truth. I think it is quite close to the truth. Why? Because in Buddhism, we explain everything in chitta in abstract way. We don't know where it supports the whole thing. The brain words never appear in the Nikaya and Abhidhamma. The brain never appeared. Okay, but we have to bring in the brain. Okay. Okay, then let's take a look. Let's see here. Next paragraph. Here we mentioned we got the 4 defining devices. We have to know the characteristic, the function, manifestation, and the proximate cause. So number 1, knowing the object is the characteristic. Okay, basically we say, how do we know that we have our heart, we have our chitta? Because by knowing the object, either from the ear, from the eye, from the nose, so we know the heart is there already. Once you hear something, the heart is there. When you see something, the mind is there. When you taste something, the chitta is there. You see or not? So this is how we know their presence. Second, it says a forerunner. Okay. The third one is the manifestation as the continual processes. Yes, but it goes too soon. It is even worse than the continuous process. You think it is the real thing already, because it goes too fast. Then lastly, the proximate cause is the mind and matter. Again, we don't feel it because it goes too fast. Okay, in conclusion, that okay, you see, you hear the clap. Okay, Mr. Leong, you hear the clap, right? You hear the clap. You know, Mr. Leong, you see, once you hear the clap, your chitta is there. But can you differentiate? Can you separate your chitta and the sound? Are you able to separate that? The function of the chitta and the sound. Are you able to separate it now?
Immediately no, but later can.
Yes, after the jhana with the vipassana, you can. Now cannot. The thing all together. Am I right? Likewise, okay, class, can you try to imagine what do you eat in the breakfast? Try to imagine your breakfast. Okay, yes, Sally, what's your breakfast?
Me.
Me. Okay, so Sally, quite sure that you use your brain to imagine the me, right? There must be a function of the brain, right? Can you separate the brain, the function of the brain and the me both together? Can you separate it?
No.
No, it all comes together. Yeah, same. Okay. You should answer later. Later you are able to separate them. But must be very strong jhana, they're able to separate, or everything come just together only. Because we need the object to manifest the function of the mind, and the mind need the object to show their presence. Both are mutually inclusive actually. Okay, we go to the next paragraph. Wow chitta. Whose turn to read? Yeah, Popo, can you please read wow chitta?
While chitta has a single characteristic as the cognizing of an object, a characteristic that remains the same in all its diverse manifestations, the Abhidhamma distinguishes chitta into a variety of types. These types, also called chittas, are reckoned as 89 or by a final method of differentiation as one-to-one. What we ordinarily think of as consciousness is really a series of chittas, momentary acts of consciousness occurring in such rapid succession that we cannot detect the discrete occasions, which are of diverse types. The Abhidhamma not only distinguishes the type of consciousness, but more importantly, it also exhibits them as ordered into a cosmos, a unified and closely interwoven whole. To do so, it employs several overlapping principles of classification. The first of this, introduced in the present section of the Sankhaha, is the plane bhumi of consciousness. There are 4 planes of consciousness. 3 are mundane, the sense sphere, the fine material sphere, and the immaterial sphere. The 4th plane is the supramundane, the word avachara sphere, which qualifies the first 3 planes, means that which move about in or frequents a particular locality. The locality frequented is the plane of existence, also bhumi, designated by the name of the sphere. That is the senses, the fine material and the immaterial planes of existence. However, though the 3 spheres of consciousness have a particularly close connection with the corresponding planes of existence, they are not identical. The spheres of consciousness are categories for classifying types of chittas. The planes of existence are realms of or worlds into which beings are reborn, and in which they pass their lives. A definite relation nevertheless exists between the spheres of consciousness and the planes of existence. A particular sphere of consciousness comprises those types of consciousness which are typical of the corresponding plane of existence and which frequent that plane by tending to arise most often there. Consciousness of a particular sphere is not tied to the corresponding plane, but may arise in other planes of existence as well. For instance, fine material and immaterial spheres chittas can arise in the sensuous plane, and sense spheres chittas can arise in the fine material and immaterial planes. But still a connection is found in that a sphere of consciousness is typical for the plane that shares its name. Moreover, the karmically active chittas of any particular spheres, the chittas that generate karma, tend to produce rebirth into the corresponding plane of existence. And if they succeed in gaining the opportunity to generate rebirth, they will do so only in that plane, not in any other plane. Hence, the tie between the spheres of consciousness and the corresponding planes of existence is extremely close.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Leong, thumb up, please, once you finish highlight. Okay. Okay, finish. So let's take a look. We go back to the diagram, class. Let's take a look. So this is the diagram. Okay, yes, Mr. Leong. Okay, where are we now? We are in the submandat or in supramandat, Mr. Leong. We are now.
Mundane.
Yeah, we're in the mandate. So, Mr. Leong, we are now in the sense sphere or five material sphere or immaterial sphere. Which one we are? Sense sphere or fine material sphere or immaterial sphere. Where are we?
Sense sphere.
Sense sphere, right? You see, Mr. Leong, once we talk about we're in the sense sphere, we have tendency to greed, right?
Correct.
We have tendency to angry, right? But do you have a tendency to meditate without, okay, I mean, can we come up with the five material chitta without doing anything? Cannot, right? Because we are not living in the five material sphere. We are in the sense sphere, meaning to say that the sensuous is the normal tendency, is the default mood for you and I and everybody. Am I right? Okay, simple, Okay, Mr. Leong, if that's the case, even though we are staying here, now Mr. Leong, we stay here, we are in the sense sphere. Are we able to make the five material sphere chitta to arise? Can we do so, Mr. Leong?
Can.
Okay, Mr. Leong, second, if after the training, are we able to train our mind to let the immaterial sphere chitta arise? Can we do so?
Can do so.
Can do so. So it means what? It means avachara. Avachara means what? Avachara meaning to say that even though we are staying as a human, but we are able to, by training, we can make them arise. Okay, since we can make them arise, for example, if I keep on training my five material sphere chitta, once I die, where will I go? Yeah, Sally, where will I go? If let's say as a human, okay, I keep on training my mind with the five material sphere, meaning to say keep on meditate, experience the first jhana. So once I die, where will I go?
First jhana.
Yeah, first jhana. Okay, if let's say, Sally, I do nothing, so I let my mind always with the great root, hatred root, a delusion root, but this example is for you, so where will you go, Mr. Sally? How you think?
I'll go to the ghost.
You go to the woeful state. Okay, you go to the woeful state. Woeful
Yes.
state. If you do nothing, just let the mind, okay, go naturally away with the greedy, anger, and stupidity. So meaning to say that here we know that as a human, we are in the sense sphere. Our mind have a tendency always arise is the sensuous chitta. If we stay in the five material sphere, meaning to say the default mode always appear will be the five material chitta. Okay, likewise in the immaterial sphere. But one thing is, by training as a human, we can make the material sphere, the five material sphere and immaterial sphere chitta arise so that we can reborn there. Okay, but it is possible for us, if we are in the five material sphere, can we downgrade to the sense sphere or not? Hui Ping, what do you think? If you are here, possible you downgrade to here? Possible you downgrade? Possible? The answer is yes or no only. So simple. Yes or no?
I think yes.
Yeah, must be yes, because if a no, meaning to say the people the living being always in the five material already. Hey, have you ever watched the movie or not? Sometimes the movie will say, oh, both of you, I mean the deva, oh, you love to each other. You already downgrade, so I penalize you, become a human. Have you ever come across this type of movie? Am I right? This type of a tendency, yes, it's possible. So meaning to say that even though immaterial sphere, you are in the very high state, because due to the karma you create as a human being before, that karma will bring you down. It's possible, but it's not that easy it's not that easy because you're in a very high state already. Quite hard for you to bring you down because once you keep on training your mind with the nimitta, with the first jhana, this we call it as a heavy karma. What that is the very karmic force is so strong. Once you go up there already, and then it will take very long time. So your lifespan will be very long. Once you finish, then you will come down. So that is the meaning. Okay. Yeah, Hui Ping, do you realize that actually what are we discussing now is which is mentioned by the passage we highlight just now? Do you realize or not?
You mean? You mean just now?
Yeah, just now what we highlight is what we discussed here. Do you realize or not?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay, even though the language looks very awkward, but you still realize that actually that is the meaning what we discuss now. Yeah, Mr. Leong, please.
Sifu, if we are in the immaterial spheres, can we come down to the worldly sphere?
Yeah, it can. Okay, yes, they will come down. Once the lifespan.
Immaterial world that when we...
Okay, Mr. Leong, your line is not that good. Please off your camera. Yeah, repeat, please. Yes.
What I mean is, if we are in the immaterial sphere, can we go down back to the worldly world?
Yes, it will. It's possible.
Possible.
Possible. Yes.
What about Arahant? Because Arahant, even if they have this action, they don't have any resultant karma.
No, but for those in the five material sphere, they are not Arahant. They're just a deva only. Five material sphere is the place for the deva. Arahant, for the third stage Arahant, they will just stay in the fourth jhana, in certain place in the fourth jhana. Mr. Leong?
Okay.
Okay, you don't make a mistake. Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, let's come back here. Let's see you see. Now here is the meaning here. Class, let's see. You see, number one, the word bumi here. Once we talk about bumi, it's same with the Malay. So we stay here as a sense sphere bumi. Okay, we reborn here. And our mind frequently arise is a sensual chitta. So this is our bumi. Okay, likewise to the five material sphere and immaterial sphere. Okay, this one is not difficult. Second word, you see avachara appear already. See or not? What mean avachara? You say we move about in or frequent a particular locality. So meaning to say that, you see, sorry, here is the definition of the sphere. Why we call sphere? Because our citta always arise in this particular locality. Meaning to say, we're easy to greet as a human. Okay, we always with the five material sphere citta if we are the Deva. Then let's come here, you see or not? Then planes or existence or ram. Why we call it as a rams? You say we reborn here, we pass our life here until we die. This is our ram. We call it as a human ram. You see. Then you say a particular sphere of the consciousness, meaning to say frequent that plane by tending to arise most often there. So meaning to say we always arise this consciousness same. But here you say consciousness of the particular sphere is not tied to the correspondent plane, meaning to say that even though we are in the sensuous plane, it can arise other plane of existence as well, meaning to say that, okay, in the material as the Deva, they can arise also the greedy anger and stupidity that can arise there. Again, for us, after the training, we can arise the five material sphere and immaterial sphere citta also. So lastly, you see, hence the tie between the sphere of consciousness and the corresponding planes of existing is extremely close. Yeah, meaning to say that after learning the Dharma class, you can choose where you want to go next life. If you prefer five material sphere, you keep on meditate a lot and try to inculcate more five material sphere. When you die, you will be there. If you prefer go to an immaterial sphere, so you do the meditation on the immaterial sphere citta, then you can go there. If you prefer woeful state, you want to go to the hell, hungry ghost and animal, you always make your mind always with the greedy anger, then you will be there. Okay, see or not? So Sally, make less cheesecake so that we won't go to the woeful state. Okay, so that is the meaning here, class, you know or not. But of course, we don't simply choose where we go. We choose according to the Dharma. Because Shakyamuni, according to his experience, he guides us where is the best place to go. Okay, so that's why we have to learn the Dharma here. Okay. Okay, then one more paragraph, 355. Okay, one more paragraph. Sense sphere consciousness. Yes, yes. Hui Ping, can you read the passage? Sense sphere consciousness.
Sense sphere consciousness, kama vachara citta. The word kama means both subjective sensuality, that is, craving for sense pleasures, and objective sensuousness, that is, the five external sense objects, visible forms, sounds, smells, tastes, and tangibles. The Kama Bhumi is the sensuous plane of existence, which comprises 11 realms, the four woeful states, the human realms, and the 6 sensuous heavens. Sense sphere consciousness includes all those cittas that have their proper domain in the sensuous plane of existence, though they may arise in other planes as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class, basically from here we can go back to one of the diagram. Let's take a look. So class, this is, we go to the list of the table number, chapter number 6. Okay, class, please turn to the page, number 5. This is the Plane of existence, number page 1x6 and x7. 1x6. 1x6. Okay, class, let's take a look. See, so this is we call it as the definition for this place. We call it as a sense sphere, the totally 11. Class, you see, number 1 until number 11 here. What we able to see, you see, meaning to say that we define as essentials, we include hell, animal, and beta and ashura. Well, basically, for the hell and the beta, they're always in the they're always in the suffer. We don't feel that they are in the sense field that much. But animal, yes. Basically, we'll see animal, they're always fighting for the food. They will eat for the good food, and then they will produce the offspring. Quite obvious, we see the animal, they have a tendency of the sensuous, like a human. But if you go to here, you see above the human, all are the deva, we call it as a sensuous deva, Jatu Marachika is a Sei Dai Tin Wang. Okay, Tawatimsa means the God for 33 heaven. God 33 heaven in Chinese, we usually call them as a Yuk Wang Dai Dai. Okay, sometimes we say they're quite equal with the Yu Wang Da Di Yu Wang Dai Dai. So that is a Tawatimsa. Then this is a Yama. Then Tushita is very famous for what? Maitreya Buddha. All Buddha will come down from the Tushita. So basically, they are all considered as essential bliss plane. Why? Because they still have a craving and they have the subject for being craved. Okay? But they are getting less and less crave. Okay, according to the sutra, basically as a human here, you see, as a human here, we have if you want to eat the food, you have to buy the veggie, you have to cook the veggie, and then you have to eat the veggie, and you have to wash the plates. But anyway, if let's say you reborn above here, you don't need to buy the veggie. Once you think about the food, immediately they will appear, immediately you'll be in your stomach already. Immediately. So I mean the sensuous is getting less and simple. Yeah. And then finally, once after you cross the number 11, you will go to the first jhana here. Then no more sex, no man and female, no food. Why? Because jhana is their food. So class, if you reborn today, you will be no more love song. No need to listen to the love song, because the popular song 99% is about the love song. Either you love me or I love you, or I love you and I hate you love me. All these things, am I right? Oh, I'm so disappointing. So you see, meaning to say that everybody actually suffer from this type of sensuous, but they also enjoy the suffer. Am I right? So please, okay, so meaning to say that if let's say you feel boring with all this type of stuff, you start to meditate, you will get away from this type of the sensual pleasure, because the pleasure at the same time will provide you the suffering reciprocally. Okay, so that's the class today. So in the next lesson, we continue to discuss the material sphere, immaterial sphere. We go in more detail. Okay, please